All right, now that I finally got the turkey into the oven and it is all ready to go, I'm going to take a short break and jump back into my second console of the morning. It's about 8 a.m. and I have the Game Boy Advance. Now the SP I was playing before when I was doing my prep work, and SP is an awesome gaming experience, but the Game Boy Advance also was great. The only huge drawback, oh yeah, we're going to be playing Mario Kart because let me just show you. So they're both interchangeable on both Game Boy units, except for the Game Boy Advance SP had a backlit light, which I was just getting ready to talk about with the Game Boy Advance. So the Game Boy Advance SP backlight is a game changer when it comes to Game Boy Advance, because the screen being able to be seen in low level light and in broad daylight is an amazing thing. Something that the Game Boy Advance has sorely forgotten. Now they did make create a light for the Game Boy Advance, but it was kind of clunky, it was almost hard to find, and it just was too much. I do like that the Game Boy Advance SP not only is a clamshell fold, which makes it feel like it's better constructed and it protects the screen, but the backlit screen, like I was talking about before, is just absolutely insane. So when I play Mario Kart, you know, Team Red Shell, I pick Bowser, always Bowser, because they're shell creatures. Other than that, I really didn't like Bowser, aka King Koopa, but because he is a shelled creature and we are Team Red Shell, anybody with a shell is instantly on the team, except for my girl, the mayor of New Donk City. She is the only human allowed on Team Red Shell, and that's because Mario Kart indoctored her in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with one of their booster expansion pack. Pauline, that's right, the mayor of Donk City. She's the only female and human on Team Red Shell. And as you can see, I'm handling my business right now with Koopa out here, aka Bowser. The only thing I hate about the SP is, I was saying before, is when you play the Game Boy Advance SP, the top shoulder buttons, one is fire and one is for helping to drift. My hands are huge and the console is just so small and square. That's the only time I actually have problems, is when I'm like trying to corner and shoot things. Other than that, I mean, it's doable. You see me doing it. I'm handling my biz with second place. You can see right now, I'm getting ready to take Donkey out too. Yeah, come here, Donkey. You ain't going nowhere. That's right. Bow down. All right, cut across here. See that? Pretty easy, substantial victory, and I'm gonna come across right here, and there we go, first place. Team Red Shell, no surprise. But look at the clarity of the screen. The screen is absolutely amazing. On the Game Boy Advance original model, it was too, except for, like I said, if you were playing this outside on the steps in direct sunlight, yeah, you can see the image amazingly. But the image that you're seeing now, and we're gonna bust it. We're gonna bust the Game Boy Advance just so that you can see the contrast between the two. And I got some pretty nice light where I'm sitting right now. So let me stop it as soon as it starts so that we can give you a contrast in the two game systems. So I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna power it off, clamshell it, and I'm going to take out the cartridge in the back. Now we're gonna pop this into the original model, purple, right here, which it feels better in the hands ergonomically, but the screen not being backlit was a huge drawback. So we're gonna bust this on and turn on. As you can see, it boots up too, and I have to put the light on for you even to see it, because other than that, you wouldn't even be able to see the screen. Unfortunately, the differences is night and day, but I still have my original Game Boy Advance because I love it. And it's, like I said, if you're sitting in direct sunlight or really, really, really good light, yeah, this is awesome, 100% awesome. But if you any kind of low level light, if you're in a living room with curtains, you ain't gonna be playing your Game Boy Advance because you ain't gonna see jack. And it's really bad. Like I said, you're looking at a huge spotlight that I'm putting on this camera so that you can even see the screen. Other than that, you're not going to see almost nothing on the screen. I mean, I can because I'm next to it, but you won't be able to see nothing. I don't say it's like a non-glare screen, but I think they save money in construction of building a Game Boy Advance. So we're gonna do the same game, Mario Kart Super Circuit. We're gonna pick the same character, Koopa Team Red Shell, and we're gonna pick the same board. So y'all gonna see me put my business down. Sorry for the gigantic light reflected in the screen. I'll try to keep it off the screen as much as I possibly can. But other than that, we gonna lay our thing down because that's just who we are. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep it steady. I got my tripod over my shoulder, so it's looking down at me. I wish I could turn the light off, but if I did, you would just be seeing nothing but a dark screen and me playing. At least this way you can see 10% of what I'm doing. Well, maybe a little bit more than 10%. I just hit whatchamacallit with a red shell right there. Alright, so the real good thing is this gameplay ain't gonna be too long. Bad thing is, like I said, unfortunately that flashlight shining on the screen, you know, it really ain't a good thing. And as you can see from my fingers sticking out, I'm trying to hold this steady, but I get finger cramps from the switch. So the left shoulder button is for firing and the right shoulder button is for drifts, which I'm gonna try not to drift on here so that you get a better version of the console, a better vision of the console, not just me. But we in first place right now. We holding things down and we gonna come right across and we gonna make it across this finish line. And there we go, first place. So you just saw me take first place both times. Like I told you, man, you know my skills. You know the skills. As Shaquille Orange Peel O'Neal used to say, you know I got skills, man. You know I got skills. That's an old song Shaquille made. I don't know if most of y'all know, but he tried to do a rapping career at one time, and it didn't go nowhere. So I'm kind of glad he, stuck with basketball. But anyway, this is what the Game Boy Advance looks like. It's really good, but as you can see, together, they are worlds apart. I love my Game Boys, and this was just my Game Boy gameplay in between breaks of while I'm cooking Christmas dinner for the people who will be over later. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm ready to jump into some more gameplay. Thank you guys for joining me. This is awesome. You guys are awesome.